Hey, what's going on? It's John here. They recently went public and they deliver food. Who am I talking about? I am talking about Doordash. Hey, everybody. I am actually not one to do negative videos, but I just had to do this video. And this video is going to be about why I will absolutely, positively never invest in Doordash. Yes, I am an investor. At the end of the day, I try to take my capital and I try to invest that capital so as to achieve a return, and I try to not be emotional. Well, obviously you have to be at least somewhat emotional about that investment, but I try to I try to manage the emotions as best I can. But at the same time, I had an extremely negative experience the first time I ever tried to use DoorDash, and I wanted to share that experience with you and tell you why I will never ever invest in DoorDash. But then number two, not this is not totally a negative video, why I will invest in PayPal, because PayPal is directly aligned with my experience with respect to DoorDash. So what happened is, here I was, it was the mid to end of October in 2020, this most recent October that we had. And October is one of my favorite months because, number one, it's my birthday, so it's always kind of fun. I live here in Southern California, Los Angeles most of the time. But I also, one of the things I do is I've got two properties here in Southern California. Actually, sorry, I've got three properties that I actually run shorter-term vacation rentals on. Two of them are ones of my own that I own, right? One of them is at a really pretty lake in Southern California. And basically what happened was it's one of my favorite times of month because it's kind of a transition month where I use the property myself, and I'm an avid water skier, right, and an avid boater, and I use October as a month to do a lot of my water skiing. Excuse me, a lot of my water skiing. And I was down there with a friend, and it was the nighttime, and it just so happened that that particular day, the car was having a hard time starting. And I didn't know it at the time, but there was something wrong with the alternator, right? So, drove out from Los Angeles, about an hour and 30-minute drive, made it fine. Then all of a sudden went to start the car to take the stand-up paddleboard down at the nighttime on whatever night it was that we went, and the car didn't start. So anyway, I tried to do DoorDash and get some chilies. We love to order chilies when we're there, to get some chilies delivered. Well, what happened is I didn't really know how to use the stupid app, and the guy that was the driver that was driving the food, calls me up and asks me for the address, and then he basically says he's delivering the food, but he wouldn't deliver the food. Within a couple minutes, I get a phone call from DoorDash, and I was actually at first kind of excited. I'm like, wow, this is pretty, impressive customer service. They're going to call me. So DoorDash calls me up. I'm a brand new customer. I just downloaded the app. I'd never used DoorDash before. Again, this is the end of October 2020. Never used DoorDash before. They call me up. They say, "Yeah, John, I'm sorry. We're not going to give you a refund. So, basically, you ordered this food, and we're not going to give you a refund." Keep in mind, I mean, not a lot of money, but at the same time, it's still about $34, right? To get the Chili's, in terms of buying the food, I don't really know what the delivery cost or whatever, but it was a $34 purchase to DoorDash that I actually never received the food, right? So I'm like, well, what else is there to say? I've got DoorDash calling me from the first time I ever used the service, first time I ever used the app, ever used the service, telling me that they're not going to give me a refund. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of stinks. So now I've got to go down and I got to use the car, which had a hard time starting. And I got to, drive it to Chili's. And oh, by the way, I thought that DoorDash was coming, so I had a beer. I really don't drink that much, but I had one beer, so I was a little concerned about driving the vehicle. Anyway, so we drive the car there. It makes it there okay. We leave. I get to Chili's. I'm sorry, I called Chili's before I drove there. What happened is the food wasn't there. So not only did DoorDash take my money, call me and tell me they're not going to give me a refund. Number three, the driver went and took my food. So logically, if I order the food and then they just don't deliver it, I can go there and get the food myself, right? But that didn't happen. The driver took the food. He stole the food, basically. So I had to put a new order into to Chili's, and basically that was, again, another $34. So here I'm at $70 for for getting my food at Chili's for one night for me and one person, right? And anyway, so I I get in the car, drive the car down. I have to wait in the waiting area because here in California it was pretty shut down in October. I had to wait in the waiting area for to get the takeout with the car running because something was wrong with the alternator. Anyway, so I got my food. We're driving home, and thank goodness the car made it. But we literally it was almost not running in the driveway, and we made it back. So the bottom line is, it was a very, very bad first experience with DoorDash. You know, I really needed that food delivered. I'd never done a food delivery service, you know, before. Certainly never done DoorDash before. And the first order, somehow I got it wrong the way I entered the address or something. They call me up. They say, okay, well, we're not going to give you a refund. And oh, by the way, they didn't tell me this. I found out through my own research. The driver stole my food. So there you go. That's my DoorDash story. So the story actually gets better, and this is why I will. I already have a position in PayPal, but I will increase my exposure to PayPal. Basically, I have PayPal aligned to my mobile apps, right? If I go get an Uber, if I get a Lyft, I use PayPal, right? Well, I use PayPal for this transaction with DoorDash, and I spent a good amount of time. I don't know about you all, but for me, it's a little hard to kind of like spend the time and focus on tracking down a $34 purchase. But for principle, it was really important for me to track it down and try to get that refund. So I spent a good amount of time in between the end of October and the end of the year talking to DoorDash and trying to get that refund. They're like, yeah, we won't do it. We can't do it because of this. They just wouldn't budge. There was just no way they were not going to do it. Then I called my bank at the beginning of 2021. Yeah, that takes a while, I know, but the fact is I've got I've got a son, and we had Thanksgiving, and then we did the holidays, and it's really busy when you're a parent trying to track down $34 is not easy. Anyway, so I talked to my bank, and I'm actually really glad I talked to my bank. My bank is Bank of America, and I went and I talked to a manager or whatever after the first person couldn't help me. And the manager's actually really nice. They're like, look, there's just nothing we can do. Too much time went by. You can't dispute the transaction, but PayPal is really good. So sure enough, I went over to PayPal. I disputed the transaction, and and I prevailed. So I told them exactly what happened. I ordered it. It never showed up. Not only did it not show up, but the driver stole my food. So I got my refund from PayPal. I was very, very pleased about that, and I had to do this video. So I'm not even going to look at the DoorDash price. All I know is service is a very, very important aspect to business. One of my most successful investments has been Netflix. I've got over a 70x return on it. I started buying those shares back in 2011, kind of a long time ago. Obviously a long time ago because that's 10 years ago. Because at the time of this recording, it's March 9th of 2021. But with respect to Netflix, they've always had I don't really have to call Netflix very often, but every time I have called them, it's been a very good experience. For example, I had the DVD. I get the DVDs with Netflix, one of the few people that still does that. And I had the Entourage movie, and I held on to that movie for months and months and months. And they ultimately were able to let me keep that DVD because I had it for so many months that it actually kind of paid for the DVD. And then I got back on my DVD service. But anyway, so I do believe that customer service, serving your customers is a very, very important element to any business. And I've been a very successful investor. Certainly, like I said, Netflix. I've got a 70x plus return on my Netflix shares, the original purchases, and they've got great service. And it's pretty crucial. So I will never buy one share of DoorDash, and I don't even know if I'm going to give them. I don't even know if I'm going to give them the luxury of actually looking at their stock price because of that first experience. So anyway, I don't know what your view is on DoorDash, but let me know. We'll see if they become successful. But that's my view. And then PayPal. Let's take a look at PayPal real quick. PayPal has actually just become kind of a mammoth. Here they are at about this is Yahoo Finance quote. I mean they're market cap, again, they were up like 7% today. And again, the time of this recording, it is March 9th of 2021. Market cap of $283 billion. They are just a monster. I did a video back in, I think, Q4 2020, and I took positions in a couple new groups, and those groups were PayPal, Snapchat, Peloton, and DocuSign, and Shopify as well. So five groups. Actually, Shopify has done the best of those. But outside of Shopify, of all those, PayPal has done the best. Different people can have different reasons, behind why that is. I think that the fact that they, support Bitcoin and allow their account holders to actually buy Bitcoin on PayPal, and then soon they're going to allow their users to actually purchase, goods from their 20 million merchants with Bitcoin. At some point, my understanding is at some point during this year, 2021. But their very clear exposure to Bitcoin might have a lot to do with their share price. But here at almost 300 billion, it's hard to imagine how high my position could get. Again, because I'm an investor, so I'm trying to really maximize my return on my capital, on my investment. Not really sure how much higher PayPal can really go. Seems like a great investment, but I'm not really sure how much exposure is I'm going to have there. But let me know if you like PayPal or if you're investing in it. Okay. So there you go. Hey, everybody, I'm going to put a link below. I came out with a blueprint recently, and I cover investing. I cover online income. I've also been an internet marketer for a long time. I've got about 20 million in earnings over kind of a long period of years of being an internet marketer. I cover credit. I cover business credit, financial independence, and also have a guide at the end, 15-page guide of all the groups in the U.S. that offer a free credit score and all the groups in the U.S. that offer a free FICO score and the corresponding bureau with that FICO, so you never have to pay for a FICO again. Yes, it covers Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Okay, have a great week, everybody, and thank you very much.